What's going on, guys? My name is Renixia.
It's your boy Robino.
And welcome back to another movie review. Today we're going to be doing a review for Abominable.
Dad always wanted me to travel the world. Someday. Huh? There's a Yeti on my roof.
When Yi sets her mind on something, nothing is impossible.
Blueberries? Run!
Man, this was a very emotional movie.
I heard you sniffling at the end when this movie was over, so...
Okay, yeah, you gotta tell about it.
You can be emotional, it's fine.
Yeah, you gotta tell them about it. I wasn't that emotional.
This movie follows Yi, which is I don't know her age necessarily, but I'm pretty sure she's like a teenager or preteen, somewhere around
13, 14.
Girl set in China.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it's all in English. It's all in English, so you don't have to worry about translation and all that stuff. But she's struggling, coping with the death of her father, so she's doing odd jobs, drifting apart from her family, and so of course we're setting up for the whole thing of family is important and all that stuff. That's the whole message of this entire movie. Mm-hmm. So she's on the roof and she finds an abominable snowman.
And calls him Everest.
Calls him Everest because that's where he's from, Mount Everest.
Yeah.
And so on the run from the evil doctor or evil Burnish and Dr. Zara, who's trying to capture him, her family, Peng and Jin, join her in taking Everest back to the Himalayan mountains and Everest in general. Yeah,
to find his family. Apparently, he had a family, two parents.
Apparently, even though he's like 6 foot tall, he is still a baby or a child. He's the equivalent of an 8-year-old human boy.
Yeah, pretty much.
So along the way, they discover the importance of family, importance of togetherness, and being open and honest with each other, and the beauty of nature, getting away from technology, and a whole bunch of different messages going on about nature, family, togetherness, all that stuff. So
and also letting go, coping and stuff like that.
Every single person. Well, these 3 people anyway, the 3 main characters, Yi, Peng, and Jin, they all had issues. Jin was a very social media. I have like 47 likes on this video, a picture of my shoes.
Yeah, he had a bunch of girls.
He's constantly posting little...
he was just like the cool guy, like all the girls wanted.
I can never get into doing social media like that. I don't think I'd want to, but I don't think I have the face for that.
It's not even that. It's too much work. Really, to be honest with you. Like, you really think about it. Like, always
you always
got to worry about looking good all the time. Like, it's crazy. I couldn't do what he was doing.
I don't think Peng, he's like an 8-year-old boy who's obsessed. He's short, but he's obsessed with basketball and stuff. I don't think he had any issues necessarily. He was more like the friend for Everest necessarily. Yeah, because they're both the same equivalent age in Yeti and human years. So they got along, and then it felt like Jin and Yi were the parental figures who were more mature, so they had to act like the... Stop doing that. You're a danger. We need to hide. Do this and this and that.
It was mostly Jin though. Yi was kind of a little bit late. Yi was a little bit more.
Jin was very strict.
Yeah, he was very strict, but that's only because he was more worried about looking good. He had brand new sneakers.
He did care about his brother though, Peng, or cousin.
Yes, no, brother. It was his brother.
His brother. Okay.
Yeah.
They didn't exactly.
Was it cousin?
I think it was cousin.
I think it was cousin. Yeah.
Peng was a childhood friend of Yi, who took her on as a sister because of the growing up and all that stuff. Kind of, though they're not related. But I think Jin or Peng is the younger cousin of Jin, and Jin, whatever.
It was a weird family. Like watching this movie,
they all lived in the same apartment complex.
Yeah, yeah. But that was a little bit the thing I had a little bit problem with this movie. I just kind of felt like I didn't get too much information about their whole relationship, even though you had little things here that they're cousins and this. I'm still kind of confused with Jin and Yi's relationship a little bit because I kind of feel like, are they really cousins, family? They didn't really.
Well, I'm pretty sure they were just childhood friends. They grew up in the same area, and so they got along. Right. And she was a loner for the most part, so Jin was pretty much her adoptive older brother. Yeah, but they are not related. So
which is one of the main things. My main concerns is what I wanted a little bit more of. Details of their relationship. That was my only concern. Overall, this movie was really amazing. The music was amazing.
Even those only 2 songs.
Yeah, even those only 2 songs. The animation was amazing.
Oh, the animation was gorgeous. I mean, the light magical effects, because apparently the Yeti hums, and that has all Yetis apparently can hum now, and it produces magical natural,
like he pretty much connects with nature.
Nature magic. Nature magic.
He pretty much connects with nature.
It makes fruit, not fruit, but vegetables and plants grow large,
bigger. Yeah.
And the closer he is to Everest, the more powerful it becomes. To the point of teleportation and flying and all that stuff.
Which was really fun to watch. Which is really fun to see that animation every time he hummed. It was just
it was gorgeous. There was one scene in particular where they're all hunkered down underneath. It looks like a weeping willow type tree because those things hanging down. He's sitting there humming, so the whole thing's glowing blue, and there's like orange swirling all around them, like fireflies or some magical flies or whatever else, and it just looks gorgeous the way they're all just looking up at the galaxy, the stars and all that, and through the lights, and it was beautiful.
One thing I always say, DreamWorks, well, to me personally, I was saying that I always forget how much DreamWorks really make great animation. I always forget about them. Pixar, and is there another animation?
Disney Pixar.
Well, Disney Pixar. I always looked at them as one of my favorites, but DreamWorks is just, gosh, man.
But the way everything about it, I love it when an animation studio goes into detail of the plants swaying, the individual hairs and all that stuff. Because when you watched Everest, Everest run and move, he's a very shaggy, pure white furred Yeti. And so his hair would be flowing. Every time he stops, you see the hair like brush light as it's going. And it was just gorgeous. The detail put into the various animation styles, the colors. They're sitting at the giant Buddha statue in there, and she's sitting there playing everything. Flowers are growing everywhere, swirling magic. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah, and that was one thing I did love about this movie was every time he hummed, the way it looked. Every time something happened around them, you can see the plants growing. It looks really great. This is a great family movie. You will definitely love this movie. You should definitely go check it out.
Like I said, Robino was a little sniffling. He wasn't crying.
Not sniffling.
He was. I heard that a little bit over there. He looked away and all that stuff in the movie.
Yeah, because I just love that. Well, I don't want to give too much away, but it was just throughout the whole.
It was a very emotional end.
I mean, throughout the whole movie, the storyline wasn't. I would say it was a little bit bland, but it got better towards the middle and end. I will say that.
So that is one thing. It's a family movie, not necessarily a kids movie, more of a family movie. But because of that, there's not a massively complex story. Yeah. They're trying to get him back while they're dealing with their own individual issues, which aren't overly complicated. But the way they addressed each person's issues and they came to terms with it, there was a little bit of comedic elements in each of the stories. Yeah. But then they all came to a wall where they had to deal with their issues, or they wouldn't be able to move on.
But that's the thing. They didn't really. I kind of felt like they dealt with them, but I wanted them to deal with it a little bit more. I just kind of felt
they did have like one issue, and they easily just passed it.
Yeah, that's how I felt, because it's like I wanted to know more about Yi and Jin's relationship. Why did they start? Well, I mean, it's obvious why they kind of split up a little bit as they got older.
They have different lifestyles, so yes, they still get along.
They grew apart. My bad. They grew apart, and I wanted a little bit more details of that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's obvious. Yeah, he grew up. Well,
for an hour and 40-minute long movie, we didn't have a lot of time to really go into their personal lives, because the whole story is about solving their current issues. They give a brief background about, especially Yi's issue with her losing her father, not being able to cope with that. And so she's giving herself issues. She's giving herself chores around the neighborhood to keep herself busy, so she can't have time to think about that.
Right. Well, it was mostly jobs. I think she wanted to pay for the trips.
Well, it's also a coping mechanism. She's keeping herself busy so she can't be sad about that, while getting the money to complete her father and her planned trip around China.
But I think that was her main goal, though, because she really wanted to travel. You know what I'm saying? She really wanted to go to all the places. She always plays the violin of her father. That was a good thing.
Everything she's doing is because of her father.
Yeah.
So the trip she's planning was what her and her father are planning to take to go on.
Right.
And of course, with his death, he can't do it. So in order to pay homage to him, she wanted to go on the trip anyway. Yeah. With his violin that she now has, but it's his. And so she's trying to cope. As you said in the movie, she hadn't even cried about his loss yet.
Right.
So when he died, she hadn't cried yet. She was too busy keeping herself busy, so she couldn't grieve.
Right.
And of course, so that was her issue to deal with, just like Jin's was his.
That's what I'm saying. Jin didn't really, but that's what I'm talking about. Jin
trying to get away. I think self-centeredness. He was kind of selfish. He wanted to get back so he wouldn't get in trouble.
Yeah, but that's the problem I had. I think Jin didn't really show his issue as much. They didn't really deal with his issue of, maybe I don't need to do this anymore.
But they did, kind of. It was a little more superficial than Yi's issue, But I think his issue was his self-centeredness and his social media following and all that stuff,
and not
which he eventually had to give up in order to understand the beauty of nature around him and cope more with his friends. And because in the beginning they talked about Pang and Jin, they don't hang out anymore because they used to in the old days, and then he stopped doing that. So Pang's always out playing basketball by himself because Jin won't go join him. So now that they're reconnected to their cousin or family relationship,
I'm trying to remember they were brothers. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they're cousins.
Yeah,
but. There's a lot going on in this movie, a lot of subtle stuff, but it's also still a very basic story on the surface when you look at it.
Definitely a lot better than I thought it would be. I didn't know what to really expect for this movie, but overall, definitely go check it out with your family. Definitely a big family event that you definitely should go to. If you guys have nothing to do, definitely go check it out. Your kids will love it. And your parents will love it.
Like I said, there was a couple. It wasn't in all these animated films these days. It's always a lot of crude body humor, like farting and adult-oriented bad jokes, which are it's going to kids' heads, but it's kind of a shame to see those. Not a shame necessarily, but it's kind of cringy to see those type of jokes in this. There was a couple, but it wasn't that bad in this movie. But because
I couldn't think of any though.
All right, so in recap, okay story, excellent graphics, excellent music, and excellent voice acting. So that's all there is to it. Go check it out in theaters, and thank you for watching this episode here. If you're watching this on my channel, go check out Robino Entertainment and Kid Robino. Both link down in the description below. He does a top 5 movie reviews. He's starting his gaming channel over on Kid Robino as well.
Yes, I see that.
More gaming content, so go check him out.
And if you're watching this on my channel, man, go check out my boy Ray Nixon, man. That's the same thing I do: movie reviews, trailer reactions, and so forth. Also, check out Fearbot Gaming. That's our gaming channel. Yes, we are finally going to be playing Pokemon Let's Go, Eevee, and Pikachu.
In preparation for Pokemon Sword and Shield coming out in a few months.
So that's really exciting. Yeah. So other than that, man, you got nothing to say?
I'm going to say, I hope to see you on the next movie review trailer reaction. We do. Bye.
Peace out.